Assalamu alaikum. We will show you today how we will treat the fixed assets operations using odoo 16 community version. Okay, first of all, we have to go to accounting application. In configuration, we're gonna find the chart of accounts. Okay, we're gonna group by account type. We have to be sure that we have the fixed assets accounts created on the chart of account, like vehicles, transportation, laptops, and computers, printers, any account related to the fixed assets. Okay. Now we have several accounts related to fixed assets like furniture and decors, computers and printers, vehicles, electric machines. Okay, we have here the fixed assets account. Also, we have the accumulated depreciation accounts for these fixed assets. Okay. Or we can name it with contra asset account. We have the asset account, the accumulated depreciation of the fixed assets account, and also we have the depreciation expense on the depreciation section in the chart of account. Okay, we have to be sure that the fixed assets account type is fixed assets. Okay, and also the accumulation of accumulated depreciation for the fixed assets also account type will be fixed assets. Okay, and the depreciation expense should be under account type depreciation. Now we are sure that we have the accounts we need for fixed assets created in a chart of account. If it doesn't exist, we have to create it in the chart account. Okay, this is the first thing we have to be sure of it. Second thing, we will go to also configuration. We will search for asset types. Okay, then we will create the asset types we are going to use during our operation. For example, we will create vehicles or transportation asset type. Transportation and vehicles. Okay. Now, which journal has to be reflected when it will compute the depreciation? We will use a specific journal like IFRS 16 right of use assets. This journal is already exist in the system. Okay, now the asset account, for example, السيارات. Okay, here the accumulated depreciation account. Okay, we're gonna type also السيارات. We're gonna find this account مجمع إهلاك السيارات. Okay, the depreciation entry expense account. This one is the depreciation expense in the chart of account. That is depreciation expense for vehicles and transportation. مصروف إهلاك السيارات. Okay. If I want to reflect analytic account, we will set the analytic account here so that any journal entry will be created automatically, will reflect this analytic account. Okay. We finished the left side for configuration of the asset type. Now we will set the depreciation method. It will be number of entries or ending date. By default, we will use the number of entries. Okay. Now the system is asking me how many entries for which period, or the for how many months, for example. So that if we set here 5 entry every 12 months, so that this assets will be depreciated on 20% for 5 years, will be fully depreciated in 5 years. If I want to compute the depreciation monthly, we will set here number of entries. One entry every, 60 entry every 1 month. Okay, so that it will be create one entry every month for 60 months. So that if I want to compute the depreciation monthly for 5 years, we will set here, for example, 60 entry. The period for entry will be 1 month. Okay. Here, additional option, auto confirm assets, or it will create in draft. For example, if we bought this asset from a vendor, when we assign this asset to its asset category, it will automatically confirm it in assets model. If I didn't take this option, it will be created in draft, so that I have to make a revision for a depreciation lines and the amounts also. Then I have to confirm. If I take this one, it will be automatically confirmed. Okay. Here, the depreciation method will be linear or digressive. In Arabic, قسط ثابت or متناقص. Okay. Here, this one, pro rata temporis, this one, it will compute the usage of the assets from acquisition date, not from the whole month. So that also we will take this option. After we finish the configuration here for the asset type, we will save. Okay. By default, the transportation transportation methods and the vehicles almost depreciated in 5 years. We have also other assets will be depreciated in 10 years. Other assets will be depreciated in 25 years. It depends on the ratio for the depreciation which approved by authorities. Okay. So that we finished the configuration for the accounts in a chart of account. Then we set the assets type configuration also. Okay, now let's perform an action using this asset type. For example, we will create a new asset from inventory, or we can create it from any creation terminal, from vendor bills, whatever, but we will create it from products. Okay. For example, we got a new car, Toyota Corolla 2025. Okay, we can set the plate number or serial number here in the internal reference or beside the name, whatever we want. Okay, the product type, we prefer to set it as a consumable. Okay. Here in internal reference, we can set the serial number for the chassis. Okay. Here in the accounting tab, we're gonna find the asset type. It will be transportation and the vehicles. Okay, we created now the item. We will save. Okay, let's go to accounting. Sorry, we can set also here the expense account for this asset. In account here, we're gonna find the expense account. It will be السيارات. Then save. Okay. Now we will go to accounting, vendor bills, and we will create a new vendor bill for this asset. For example, ALJ. Okay, we can fulfill here the data we want, like bill date, bill reference, whatever we want to fulfill the data there. Okay, in products, we're gonna add a line. We will select the assets, Toyota Corolla. Okay. Here it reflected already the asset account, which we set in the product configuration. Here in asset category, we should select the transportation and vehicles, the quantity, okay, and its price, for example, 75,000 real, that excluded. Okay, we will save. Then we will confirm. We will go to accounting, assets. We're gonna find the asset is already created in assets model. The asset name is Toyota Corolla. The category and the acquisition date, all information we have for these assets. Okay, and also its vendor and its bill reference. Here in salvage value, we can set 1 real. This value will be remaining for the gross value after full depreciation. Okay, then we will save. If we check in here, you're gonna find the depreciation date started from the acquisition date, which we make for today. Okay, now we have 60 entry, one entry every month for the depreciation value monthly. Okay, now we will click also in compute depreciation, then we confirm. Okay. So that the system, every 28 of the months, it will create a journal entry automatically with the depreciation value, okay, in draft status, so that we can make a quick revision. After that, we will post the journal entry. If the system didn't make the journal entry, okay, we can make we have an option to generate a fixed assets entry for depreciation. Because if we have a previous journal entry is not validated, so that the system will not generate the assets entry. Okay, so we will go to assets here. We have this assets in items. We have no journal entry here, so that we can, on accounting tab, generate assets entry. Okay, the accounting date will be today, generate entries, so that we got this one is already generated and reflected the IFRS journal, which we set on the assets journal entry. Okay, we're gonna find here the debit and credit account. This one is the expense account, and this one is the accumulation depreciation for the fixed assets. After we make a revision for this one, everything is fine, so that if this asset related to any of the branches, we can select the branch. After that, we will post. Okay.